All right, so Taj, the Pittsburgh Steelers are on a three-game losing streak. They lose their third game to the Cincinnati Bengals. This is just the Bengals' second win on the season. No Joe Burrow. They're probably everyone thought they were dead in the water, and this Steelers team, after being undefeated, losing three straight, and it was the turnovers they had three turnovers early, and the Bengals got 17 points over them. So like, what's going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I mean, I don't think anything is going on with the Steelers. I just think their true identity is showing. The fact of the matter is, Steelers they were 11-0, but who did they beat? They didn't beat any good teams when they were 11-0. No, what they had like one really good win. I mean, this is what I thought the Steelers were. I thought they were going to come back to life. They had some injuries, with Devin Bush and Bud Dupree on the defensive end. Those were some injuries that they had. But I mean, a lot of teams had injuries. So it is at this point, there's really no excuses for you to beat those into teams like Washington and the Bengals, especially without Joe Burrow. That's really no excuse. And the Steelers, they were sloppy. The offense is coming back to reality. They're big play hunting because there's no running game. James Conn, I don't know what he's doing. It's like they have zero running game. The offensive line is terrible. And the fact of the matter is Ben cannot hold up anymore. Back then Ben could have, he had a terrible offensive line. He could, extend plays. He could brush guys off, but he can't do those things anymore. You know what I'm saying? His accuracy is just isn't there anymore. He threw the ball. He was terrible throwing the ball today as well. Guys like Juju, you got to stop dancing. I mean, see, you really got to stop dancing. I mean, you've been dancing every game on other guys' logos, and then with it. I mean, I'm saying you do it every game, but when you have a bad loss like this, it just serves as a distraction at this point in time. Not saying that him dancing is the reason they lost. I'm saying you don't want to add another distraction when you're going into the playoffs and and you're already on a bad streak right now. You guys, they're in the slump. That's the reality situation. So this Steelers team, I don't know. They need to get together. I don't think this Steelers team is a contender. I really don't. I just think they just got off to a hot start. They sneak up on some guys and they just won a few games. But right now, I think the Browns are better in that division. I think the Ravens are better in that division. They're not ready for the Bills. They're not ready for the Chiefs. That those are just. I don't even think they're ready for the Dolphins. As a matter of fact, the Steelers team out there, they're coming back to reality. They're coming back to life, and the reality is they're not contenders. They're just a good team that strung off 11 wins somehow. But I don't think the Steelers are contenders.
Yeah, for first point, I don't want to see no more Juju Johnson for the rest of the season because after that hit he took today, and then that turned into a fumble, and the Bengals got points off of that too. So I don't want to see no more that dancing stuff on the logo crap because the Steelers still look bad, and Juju isn't even that good. Like he's not, he obviously he had good, yes, but he's not been that good since AD left. If we're being honest, he's average, but he's just a big name, Juju Smith-Schuster. So I don't want to see no more of that dancing. But the Steelers, I feel like they just make too many mistakes. Three turnovers in the first half, and then the Bengals they get 17 points off of that, and then we know the story about all the drop balls and everything. So like they just make a lot of mistakes. Like the team is good. I feel like minus some mistakes, if they could play like they had a lot of ugly wins and they scraped off. That's what they do, and I feel like if they play that way in the playoffs, they're probably I put them as the second best team in the AFC. I don't I mean, like like if just think about it for a second, right? They, a lot of fumbles, a lot of turnovers, this and that. Like that's not who they are. They playing sloppy. Like if they clean all that stuff.
That's been the Steelers the past few weeks. That's really been them all season. The reason why they have a lot of turnovers is because they're throwing the ball a lot. They have zero running game. So when you're throwing the ball 50 and 55 times a game, you're gonna have a lot of turnovers. That's the reality of the Steelers. They've been turning the ball over all season. This isn't something new.
Okay, yeah, but all of the drop balls and stuff, that's just fundamental. Let's just you can't be dropping balls and stuff like that. So I feel like okay, in the playoff game, I feel like they clean. I feel like in the playoffs, come playoff time, they clean a lot of that stuff up, and then all that with on top of Mike Tomlin and all the experience on this team. Like I feel like I don't see no reason why they can't make it to the championship game. Obviously, the Chiefs are still going to be the favorites, but I don't see I don't see this team getting knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. I feel like they're still a pretty good ball club. They just have some, they needed they needed this little out to, okay, we're not perfect. We need to clean up a lot of stuff. And I feel like this will get them ready for the playoffs.
I don't think the Steelers are better than the Bills. The Steelers are not better than the Chiefs. They're not better than the Ravens. The way the Browns are playing, I don't think they're better than the Browns. They might get a win from the Browns because psychologically, the Browns, they just can't beat the Steelers. But in terms of being better, I think the Browns are better at this point. I even think the Dolphins are better, and that's reality situation. This Chiefs team, I really don't. I mean, this Steelers team, I don't see what scares you on this team. Chase Claypool, yes, we saw him. He got off the hot start. I mean, he had like 200-yard games in the first 4 games, but now he's gone quiet. Juju Smith, he's gone quiet. The running game is not there. The O line cannot hold up. Our bend accuracy isn't there at all. And he's taking sacks because he can't scramble anymore. This Steelers team, and they're depleted on the defensive end as well. But Dupree is out. Joe Hayden has been out. Devin Bush is out. Like the defense, they've got worse in every week, and they've only been playing on worse teams. I don't see this team being a contender. I don't think the way the offense is and the way the defense has been playing. The defense is supposed to be their specialty, and the fact that you have zero running game, you're not gonna win in the playoffs with zero running game. You're gonna be playing in January. You're gonna be playing in some cold weather. You're gonna be playing in the Pittsburghs. You're gonna be playing in the Buffaloes. You're gonna be playing in the Kansas Cities. You're not gonna win with no running game. You're not going to be able to throw the ball 50 times a game in those 0 degrees cities. That's reality situation, and the fact that they turn the ball over so much. If you can't run the ball and your problem is turnovers, you're gonna have more turnovers, especially in the cold weather. Guys' hands only gonna freeze up. The ball is going to get hotter. They're gonna have even more turnovers when the weather really, really, really starts to get cold. So this Steelers team, they aren't contenders. They're just a really good team, but they're not a top 4 team in the AFC, and I don't see them knocking off Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore, and I don't even think they're better than the Dolphins, honestly.
I mean, I just disagree. I feel like they're better than the Ravens for sure. I think they beat the Browns, and I feel like it's the Bills look pretty good, so maybe, but I take them over the Bills. So I guess we just disagree on that point.
The Steelers, they have Indiana next week. Indiana is playing really good. I don't think they're going to beat Indiana. Then that means they're going to be 11-4. They're going to have one more game. I'm not sure who's the guy. I think it's against Cleveland. And if they lose that game, Cleveland is going to win the division. They're probably not even going to win the division after starting off 11-0. That should tell you something about this team.